And here's the name of my actual search right here. So when I want to switch to another saved search, now here they are listed. These are, my work orders is automatically set for everyone. And then these are the 4 saved searches that I created that are private. And then the ones below here are the ones that are public, where anybody can go in and look at them. If I wanted to edit it from here, I have my pencil here, and then I also have my trash can if I needed to delete it. Once I have that set, then I can set up my view, and just depending on what you want to look at, what you want to actually see on the actual work order. From there, I would set up, I have the possibility of setting it up on my dashboard, where if I needed a quick view of everything that Jeff is doing. So what I did is I set up Jeff's all active work order. So it's set up to pull all his actives, and then I have it, the view sorting and grouping by the category. So at a quick glance, I can see that he has a total of 152 work orders. Out of that, 65 are preventive maintenance and 87 of them are service requests. If I needed to dig deeper into it, I could just click on this caret on the side and it will display all the actual work orders. Another neat feature with the saved searches on your actual dashboard is you can open them up in work orders. So if I really wanted to see or to mass edit them or anything like that, I can click on it, open in work orders, and it's going to open up that saved search for me in work orders. Now, the way that I did the category so that it's grouped this way, this is your edit pencil for your view. So I've got my view set, but I want to make changes to it. I'm going to click on the edit button. These are all my available fields that I could use that I can see. These are my displayed fields, and I can actually put these in different order if I wanted. If I wanted date created in the first column, I can do that. It's just click and drag, okay? And then from there, the sorting and the grouping. And so this is where I've got them sorted by category, keeping them separate from the PM, separate from the service request. And then I came over here and this is where I actually group them. And then I save it. So it looks like this. Also, what I set up on the dashboard is another option where I actually created 2 separate panels. Oh, come on. I have one separate one for Jeff's PMs, and I have one for Jeff's service requests. And here they all are listed, and I can actually open these up in work orders as well. So you have a lot of options that you can do. You can set up many tabs, as many tabs as you need. My actual tab that I actually work on during my everyday life here at FSI, I have about 45 tabs up on my dashboard, just so that I can see different things quickly. Okay, next question. Nope, no new questions. Staff leave our company. An easy way to see work orders and PMs not completed when their name is removed from CMS. So to find the actual work orders of a user who is no longer there, we have 2 different ways you can do it. We have a report, which I have listed on my dashboard. I think it's there. Nope, it's not there. So you can go into reports, and the name of the report is active/pending work orders assigned to inactive resources. So instead of scrolling through, I can come up here and type in active/pending. Once I see the lightning bolt, I can click on that or hit enter. And then this is your play button to actually bring up the report. And now it's displaying for me the work order number, the actual description of the work order, who it's actually assigned to, the location, category, priority, and the date that it was created on. So you can do it this way, run this report, print it off, and then go into either, like these are PMs, I can go into the 2-year tests that are assigned to Andrew and I can't talk, sorry, and change it over. And I can also look up these work orders and change the assignment on there as well. Another easy way to do it is to go back into the user's profile. So you have John who's leaving, and he didn't know that he was leaving this morning when he came to work. So we need to lock everything down. To do that, what you would do is you would come in, open up their record, take your scroll bar all the way down to the bottom. And if you have, the best way I feel to do it, if you have someone who's leaving not on their own terms where it could be a possible security risk, I would first reset the password. Reset the password to whatever you need to reset it to that you don't think that they could find out what it is. Reset the password, and then they can't get logged in. That gives you the time to go out and search for their records and reassign them, as long as their status remains active. Once you make them inactive, you can no longer look for them in the system. If you change the status to inactive and then realize that there are work orders out there still assigned to them, what you have to do is come back in, make them active, log out and log back in, and then you'll be able to see their name in the drop down where you can actually search for it by their name. No questions on that? We're doing pretty good, Jeff. Okay, the next question is a report that shows work order completion rate for a month, year to date for performance conversions for entire staff and individuals. So I'm going to go back into reports. And I'm going to bring up report work order completion, and then I'm going to search for it. That's something wrong. And the one that I actually want is the work order completion summary by category with a bar chart, which is this one down here. I'm going to click the play button. It automatically defaults to the facility that you actually have access to. So with this login, I only have access to our testing and training. But if you have access to other segments within your system, you can actually do those as well. My work order category is preventive maintenance and service request. And then I'm going to start out just running this for last year. so I can check on how we did last year. So January 1st through December 31st, 2019. Okay, so it comes up as a bar chart. And what this is actually showing is the percent complete versus percent completed on time for all selected facilities. So the orange bar is the completed and the brown bar are the ones that were actually completed on time. And then down here, it breaks it down by the category. So for preventive maintenance, we had 1,531. Out of that, 1,416 have been completed, which is a completion rate of 92.49%. And out of that, 1,415 were completed on time, giving me a rate of 92.42% completed on time. Same thing with the service request, 2,229 total, 2,092 completed with a rate of 93.85%. And out of that, 2,072 were completed on time at a rate of 92.96%. And then it gives you your grand totals as well. So that was for the whole year. So if I break it down and I do June, I change this to June. And I run the report. It looks a little different where you can actually see that it was more, we have more that were completed, but only a certain number of them were completed on time. Okay. And then I did one more month just to show you the difference in them. I did March. And so this is where you can actually see that the bar is really moving. There were only 4 service requests and it didn't even show up on the radar because they have not been completed. So that's one report. Another report that we can run is the employee productivity report. And this report, I got to remember the dates that I put in. I'm just going to run it this month for now. And once again, preventive maintenance and service requests. And I'm going to run it for Jeffrey York and Angie TT. Your report. So this report is showing, it's listed by the assignee, the actual time charges that I've put in, or that we've put in so far, and how many hours that is, the amount of work orders that these time charges have been put in. So there's 66 entries on 66 work orders. And out of those 66 work orders, 54 of them have been completed, and it actually gives you the rate. If I needed to drill down into this further, there's a plus sign right by the last name. I can click on that and it will open them up and it'll let me know 50 of those were preventive maintenance and 16 were service requests and how many hours were actually put on them. And then also you can break it down even further. So I'm sorry, drill down even further where you can see the actual date, how much time was put on it, the actual work order number, the date the work order was created, and the date that it was completed. So again, that's the employee productivity report. And we have another one that is time feel like pencil over here today. I kind of fly. Okay, so the employee time tracker. We're going to put in the same dates. Still looking at Jeff and Angie. And the statuses, I want to check all the statuses, just so in case there's some time that was put in on a work order and then it ended up being canceled, we would still want to track that time as well. And so now this is showing all the work orders that I've completed within that time frame. And it gives us the work order, the description, the location, the date that it was created, or I'm sorry, the date that the time was put in, the hours. If there was if it was overtime, some people have overtime hours put in, or they'll have regular hours or weekend hours, however you, separate your hours, that would show up in this column, any notes, and also any completion comments that are on the work order. So that's another report where you can track. And then as you get down to the bottom of it, for each one, it will show the total. So right here, the total for Jeff is, the total for Jeff is 16 hours, 16.55 hours. And this is for the 8th, but he has a total of 42 hours and 47 minutes on a total of 91 work orders. So that's the employee tracker. Another one that we have is called the time charges. Time charges last 7 days. As a manager, you can run this report where you have options to run it by actual person. So if I come in here and I run for myself and I view the report, it's going to show you basically the same thing. The work order or the project ID, the date, how much time I put on each individual work order, and any notes that I had added, along with a total of hours. And you can select multiple employees. So if you want to select them all, you can select them all, or you can do it individually, or excuse me, or a few at a time. Excuse me. And then there is an actual completion rate, a PM completion rate report that you can set up for your dashboard, which I have set up. For my dashboard stats. And these are for my PMs. So my PMs last month, I have 31.46% that have not been completed. I mean, that were completed, and 68.54% that were completed. And then over here, this one shows that I have 75.93% that are still active, 3.70% that were canceled, and 20.37% that have been completed. I'm sorry, this is last month and this is this month. So that gives you like a quick view of what's actually happened with your PMs. Also up here, the time charge, time charges for the last 7 days, you can add that to a dashboard as a dashboard report. And then you can come over here and not have to actually and run the report right from here. So at a quick glance, you can see what somebody has been doing, how much time they've put in and things like that. Okay. And a report that shows total work per day by staff spent on work orders and PMs. This would actually be a save search, and then you could actually save that by adding it to your dashboard. So another thing, at a quick glance, you can see. And that would be just basically, let me see, a report that shows total work orders by staff spent on work orders and PMs. So let's just say I'm looking for completed. I want it completed by, because I know all these weren't assigned to me. Completed by Angie, and I could do it for completed today. And then I could search. Nothing. I didn't do anything today. I changed that date. What's the date? I can't remember what dates I completed. Here we go. 10-2. Completed date, completed by. I'm not understanding what is going on here. I know I've completed these work orders out. We're going to try it this way. What is going on? Unless it's trying to run and I'm moving too fast. Jeff, can you see anything that I'm doing wrong here?
No, I don't see anything either.
I don't see anything either. Let me do it this way. Reset this. Status. Complete. Save. Completed date. Custom fix. Let me go back. Maybe I'm off. Okay. So I'm going to change my view. I'm going to take off the grouping of the categories. No grouping. And then I'm going to come over here and I am going to add the total hours, total work order hours. And I'm going to move that over here so that I can see it. And so now here's the time on there. So you can do it by a search as well. And if you do it by category, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Michelle showed me a trick yesterday that if you do the search by one person and you have their categories displayed, if you group by the category at this point, it gives you your total hours. And then if you needed to drill down from there, you could drill down from there. Okay. No questions yet? Okay, this was asked about getting in new assets and actually creating these new assets. So let's just say that you have a new building and you get a bunch of new ice machines in. So one of the quick and easy ways to actually add an asset to the system is to find an asset that you already have in the system that already has procedures and schedules already scheduled on them. So if I get in a new ice machine, I can search for one of the ice machines that we already have in the system and open that up. I can see, oh, this is a big one. Just so everybody knows, this is our testing area where we test and do all kind of things that people ask us and things. So if it looks crazy, it is crazy because this is where we're actually doing our testing at in here. And Jeff and I use this for our training as well. So sometimes it can look a little wonky. But so this one is showing that there's actually 18 procedures scheduled on here. Well, attached, I'm going to say attached, because there's actually only so many of them actually scheduled. So what's going to happen is I got a new ice machine. I got my asset number. I know where the location is. It's the same model, manufacturer. So all I have to do is open up an asset and click on these two blue pieces of paper stacked on top of each other. That is our duplicate button. I'm going to duplicate it, and it's going to tell me the current asset will be saved and the content copied to a new asset. Meter-based PMs, asset meter points, asset contacts, materials, work order history, file attachments, contracts, asset links, and notes will not be copied. That's because they're not going to be needed on the next asset that I create. So I'm going to click yes. And then all I have to do is come in here, create my asset number. It already has carried over my asset description, my manufacturer, my model number. Serial number is a mandatory field. So I'm going to put in my serial number. Something else is down here. My life expectancy is 20 years. So I'm going to choose that. And I don't have any other required fields. And so I'm going to save it. I should have chosen one that didn't have as many schedules on there. And then it tells me that 1042.2 has been successfully saved, and it opens it up for me. And once it finishes loading, it's going to have all those procedures on there as well, along with being scheduled on the same schedule as the previous asset. So you don't have to recreate the whole wheel all over again, trying to figure out, okay, well, when do those get scheduled? When does this one need to be scheduled? You know, and what's the frequency? If you do it this way, it automatically carries over the schedule. So as long as they're going to be scheduled at the same time as everything else, it will automatically be scheduled. And then that's all you have to do. At this point, only thing I would have left to do is maybe update the location. It carried over my risk score. And there you have it. And so here's all my schedules, the ones that are actually scheduled. Okay, another question was to explain the completion button on a work order. If I go back to my dashboard, in CMS 4, we, everybody knows we've been trying to streamline and make things a little bit easier for everybody. So if I need to complete this work order, I can open up this work order. Once is it done? Jeff just doesn't have a completed button. Oh, there it is. Okay. Once I complete my procedure, answer my question. Yes, I did do that. Is it ready? Okay. What that is saying, but yes, there's no drop down here. And we're just going to save it. And so now when I'm ready to complete the work order, I can just click on this button right here. This is actually set up in the facilities on CMS 3 because it hasn't been converted over to CMS 4 platform yet. But what it does is it changes the completed status to complete, which has to be set up under the facility configuration. So I got it set to complete. It automatically puts in today's date, and all I have to do is enter in my completion comment at this point. Now, some people have been using this and they feel that they cannot change the completion date. And now my computer's froze. You can change the actual date. So if this needed to be completed back in July of 2019, I actually just did it yesterday. I can change it from today's date to the actual date when I actually completed it, just in case. And this comes into play when you have work orders that you completed yesterday and you forgot to close it out. You can come back in. A lot of people think that they cannot, once they choose complete and the date is there populated, you can change it. So that's how you can do that, and then double check your required information. This is saying that I have to answer all my required readings and labor charge, but that is how you would use the complete button right there. It just makes it a little bit easier. Still no questions. Okay, I must be doing pretty good here. Okay, next question is, how do I pull up all of a particular asset for a report? Where do I go for this search? So we're going to go back to reports. I actually have it saved on my dashboard, but you can always search. Please don't ever be afraid to go into the reports and do some looking around and run the reports and see what it is that you're actually looking for. So this report, to look for a particular asset for a report, is asset inventory. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. So I would choose my location level. So I'm going to choose them all. I'm going to choose my main building. My asset category level, I'm going to select them all because it just depends on how they are actually categorized. And then the category that I'm going to look for is, I think it's my ice machine. And then once I've got all that set up, I'm going to click View Report. And it is only showing one in my main building. So I'm going to come back and select all. Let it reset up and View Report. This shows me my asset numbers, the actual description, the manufacturer, model number, serial number, the risk score, if there is one on there, the current status of the asset, the category, the actual location of the asset, excuse me, and if it has the install warranty dates and the replacement cost, that would be on there as well. So you can just print this off and either keep it for your records or you can hand it off to somebody else that's actually asking the question. Or you can do an asset search with the status of active, and you can either use the asset description or you can use the asset category. If all your assets are actually categorized the right way and everything is actually categorized, you should be able to just come in and choose your asset category and find what you need to find. And just in case you didn't know, whenever you see this field right here, this is your drill down field. You can start typing in there and it will drill down for you. So this is the ice machine that I'm looking for. And then you can click save, and I want the status of active. We don't need to know about the other ones. And then click search. And you would get the same information. On here, you have a little bit more freedom of actually adding the columns that you want displayed. So if somebody just wants to know how many you have, where they're at, and they might not need to see the actual next time it's going to be a PM is generating on it or the warranty end date, you what you call it, you can remove those columns, and then from there you can export it. I can export them all, and then depending on the size of the export, you're either going to get a notification that it's happening in the background, and then once it's complete, it's no longer spinning. It's right here, and then from here you would click to download it, and it exports it just the way it is here into an Excel spreadsheet. Is there a way to print a work order list in portrait format? Unfortunately not. I'm sorry about that. So what they're asking for, just in case everybody doesn't know, you can have your work orders, as soon as my list comes up, you can print a list of your work orders instead of having a work order on every page, you know, like the full work order. Some people just need a list and they go by the list and they can just check it off as they complete it and then come back and complete them at their desk or at the computer. You can print off a list. And as soon as this loads up, and it's under the print icon. You would click the print icon and it's right here, work order list 4.0, and click all. This is going to happen in the background. Oh, I'm not stuck now. Oh, it's running still. Great. Now that that's complete, I can click here to download the exported records. And so this is what it comes out. It comes out landscape. So the question was, can it come out where it's, you know, regular size, the way the paper portrait? And it can't, just because of the actual information that's on here. I tried to convert it over into a work order, not work order, a Word document, and it wouldn't work. So unfortunately, no, we cannot change that. Okay, next question is, how can we visualize and load balance schedule maintenance? So I think what they're talking about is running a report on, there's a couple ways that you can do it, and it just depends on what you're actually trying to do. So if you're trying to balance the load amongst employees, so that, you know, John isn't saying, how come I got 150 every month and Jeff only has 10? You can, if that's the type of balancing that you're trying to do, it takes a little extra effort to actually figure it out, because you need to take into consideration the time that it takes. So Jeff might have 10 work orders a month, but it might be all AHUs, where it's taking him, I don't know how long it takes, but let's just say it takes an hour, hour and a half for him to do a monthly maintenance on an AHU, where John has 150 work orders, but they're just exit lights. And all he's doing is going to make sure, pressing it for 30 seconds, making sure that it's lit and making sure it's pointed in the right direction, and then he's done. So it just depends on the actual time that is considered in that, unless you're not worried about the time and you're going by the numbers. So if you're going by the numbers, you can do it like this. So let's just say, let's see how many Andrew has for a whole year. And so remember, when doing it this way, the monthly at this point is only being counted once. Okay. So we can see, it just depends on how, what numbers you're actually looking for. So if we drill it down, filter it down for Andrew, just to see how many Andrew has in a year that he has to deal with. he has 511. But remember, some of those are, it could be weeklies, it could be a daily, it could be a monthly, or he could have all every 2 years that he does something. It just depends. So you have to look at that. You have to keep all that in mind. Also, if you're looking at time-wise, you have to make sure that your procedure, the procedure itself, has the estimated time that it would take to complete the actual PM per asset. So on the procedure record, it will show estimated hours. So for an exit light, some people say 5 minutes, do your 30-second test, you do that, give you 5 minutes. So that would say 0.08 on it. So he could have 150 of them, but that's 0.08 150 times. So there's that way you can do it. Also, there is a report where you can forecast. It's a forecast report for the procedures, and that helps as well, but you're going to have to print it out. You're going to have to really kind of dig deep into it. And that is, and it's the PM forecast. And we're going to go by asset category, and we're going to view it. And so this is giving us a forecast report, and it's taking us all the way through 2024. But what it does is it lists out each asset category and how many PMs per month. Now, I'm not sure if that's what you were actually looking for, but there's different ways that you can do it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call and ask us our ideas. Between Jeff, myself, and Michelle, we all come from hospitals. So we've all been in your shoes before, where we're trying to get things scheduled, trying to figure out what's this and what's that and how I should go about doing that. So please don't ever hesitate to call customer support. That's what we're here for. And I know a lot of you on this call have heard me say that before, but yes, please, 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 please let us know what you're trying to do, and we'll figure it out for you. And then my last question that was submitted was, can I change the view to see more than 10 permanently? And what they're talking about is on the dashboard in the panels. And another, unfortunately, we cannot change this because of the background functionality. It drags the background functionality. So this is what they were asking, this right here. It always reverts back to 10 instead of staying at 100. Since I've got 93 here, it will not stay at 100. It has to stay, it's going to revert back to 10. So I can open up the floor. I don't know if you guys want to talk. Q&A is open. Nobody's asked any questions, but that's all I have. Jeff, is there anything else that you think that I should talk about that maybe they might want to see? Does anybody want to talk? I can unmute everybody. Everybody's shaking their head no, and Angie can't see you. Anybody want to show their face? You can turn on your camera.
Yeah, Angie, this is Jeff. I don't see any questions in the Q&A.
I know, I don't either.
But, you guys, like she said, you guys can feel free to contact us either by through the phone number, 412-567-4070 extension 1, or you can contact us through email, or also you can create a work order in the program. Angie, maybe you could show them the little question mark up there and
yeah.
See what's for.
Okay, over here in the upper right-hand corner, there's a question mark. That is from the old CMS 3. That's the support button. So if you click on that, it will bring you up to our support screen where you can view our help and our support site. You can submit an online request. You can email us, and here's our phone number. Also, even though I know you all are getting notifications, make sure that everybody on your team that needs to get updates regarding CMS, this is the link where you would fill this in to be notified from us if anything's happening with CMS. Nobody's saying nothing. Oh, wait, there's some questions. Can you please go back and find an
Yeah, I was gonna
asset?
say you got one in there now.
Oh, that's the same person. Hi, Eric. Hold on, let me close this out. Okay. You want me to just search for an asset? Eric, if you unmute your phone, you can help walk me through this.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, the first part for me is just finding where to go. And then once I do that a couple of times, I should, slowly get the hang of this. So let me go
Okay.
back. So in my dashboard, I go to assets.
Correct.
Okay.
And then in CMS4, just a little side note, this toolbar never changes unless there's an icon that is not here. It's just not available in whatever section you're in. So you're going to go to search, which is the magnifying glass.
Yep. Okay. There we go.
And then the asset search screen. So you can search by anything in here. My suggestion is if I was looking for ice machines, I would just look for the word ice. Just
Okay.
because if somebody before you put it in, they might call it an ice maker. And if you look
Yep.
up ice machine, you only got 2, but you know you got 10 floors. So there's at least 10 in the building.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Exactly.
and then maybe your status. Status sometimes, but definitely in the asset description. Or if you know for sure that everything is categorized the right way, you can search by the asset category. Those are the best 2 ways to search.
Boom. Got it.
Boom.
Sweet.
Hey,
Yep.
I like boom.
Yep. I do too. Because we had a to-do for our director. Please pull up all of your ice machines. Took me forever, and finally someone else said, "Here, I found yours for you." It's like, thanks, but I'd like to try to learn how to do this on my own.
Absolutely.
Because we were
But
looking,
now you know how to reach us, Eric, right?
yeah, because we were looking at kind of streamlining the PM tasks on our ice machines so they're the same across all of our hospitals.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge one.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Angie, you might can show them how to unpin that.
Oh,
that
I'm
navigation.
sorry. Okay, when you first log in to CMS4, oh, you got to go right here. So when you first log in, it takes you, go away, stop. Okay. It takes you, let me go to dashboard, hold on. It looks just like this. And then you have to click on the hamburger to see your actual menu. There's a light pin right here, a little push pin. If you click on that, that will hold it there. So no matter where you go within the system, this stays there like it used to in CMS3. So that's how you do that. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Any other questions? Okay, once again, if you guys need anything, please, 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 please do not hesitate to contact us. We actually live for this. This is me and Jeff's thing, trying to show everybody how to go about working in the system and making it as easy. It's our job to make this as easy and seamless as possible for you. So please, if you have any questions or concerns or just want to know how to do something, do not hesitate to contact us because that's what we're here for. And if nobody else has any questions, I don't think I can hold you guys here any longer, but thanks so much for attending. Okay, nobody's saying nothing.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. All right, everybody have a good day. Thank you so much.